Thank you, sir, for the kind words. Regarding the previous talk, two comments I would like to make. One is don't let your ego come in. Once you start doing phaco, you feel, if any complication also occur, we should go ahead with your bimanual or a coaxial irrigation aspiration. No. Since Simcoe can be used, don't let your ego come into. To take out any small pace, the Vectis can be used. Okay, it's not necessary that always you have to do it with phaco probe only or do it with the coaxial or a bimanual irrigation aspiration only. So SICS instruments can be of help when you are doing phaco if any event occurs, or even if event doesn't occur. You should not do any harm to the eye. So don't let your ego come into. So now I'm going to talk about my topic, strategies for phaco in small pupil using hooks, rings and expanders. So we all know what are the technical challenges during phaco in small pupil. Basically we have a reduced red reflex. There's an increased risk of iris damage, bleeding and prolapse of iris through the wounds. There's a small anterior axis size. There's incomplete removal of the cortical matter. There's problem in ensuring the in-bag IOL placement and issues with proper alignment of toric IOLs and multifocal IOLs. So we all know what are the causes. The most common cause in India being the pseudoexfoliation, IFS and diabetes. Now strategies for small people, pre-operative, we have been doing it. Intraoperative also, we do it. But I would like to make a small note in this. When you are using a preservative-free epinephrine, dilute it with 4 times. Dilute it 4 times with BSS or BSS plus. Now what are the intraoperative surgical strategies which we can utilize for managing a small pupil? There is mechanical stretching method with the help of instruments like iris hooks, retractors, rings and expander. The cutting method is a sphincterectomy, iridectomy or a pupillary membranectomy or synechuliasis. Then you can do the iris retainer method, which is done with the viscometriasis. So viscometriasis, you should use a high molecular weight cohesive viscoelastic substance like sodium hyaluronate. It dilates and maintains a wide pupil by mechanically moving the iris tissue towards the angle. It gives temporary dilation. So once the viscoelastic is washed, again the pupil goes to the original size. So try to re-inject visco as and when required when you are putting the phaco probe into the anterior chamber. Synechuliasis, it is performed with the help of iris spatula. The instrument is inserted under the viscoelastic and placed between the iris and the anterior surface of the lens capsule. Synechia released with a gentle sweeping motion of the instrument. Re-inject additional viscoelastic material to redilate the pupil. You can see that I am doing synechuliasis through either side ports. Peripupillary membranectomy is described by Osher. It is done when the fibrotic membrane is present at the border of the pupil. It can be removed by stripping it from the pupillary margin with the help of a forceps which serves to release the pupil. Sphincterotomy, in this there are multiple small radial cuts are done through the iris sphincter muscle. You should try to cut only the sphincter and not the, you should not extend your cuts towards the mid-periphery. It is performed with the help of a Vannas or a micro Vannas scissor. I personally believe that a micro Vannas is is an instrument which is of great help because you don't shallow the anterior chamber and you don't cause any damage to the other structures. And you can have a nice small cuts only at the sphincters. The disadvantages being pupils appear slightly irregular. The partial sphincterotomies it gives an acceptable cosmosis. You can see both the pictures which I am showing are done with the micro Vannas. Stretch pupilloplasty can be done with the help of iris hooks or collar button retractors. Now coming to the main topic, the iris hooks or the retractors. Basically they are 40 polypropylene hooks. They are stiff, autoclavable, 0.15 mm in diameter. You also have 60 nylon hooks, that's a Grishabugs hook. They are flexible and they are single use, but you can ETO and reuse it. Adjustable silicone stoppers, they provide a superior grip and allows adjustment of the pupillary size. I'm going to show a video on how to insert the hooks and what precautions have to be taken while inserting the iris hooks. So basically when I have a case of small pupil, I have a standard rhythm which I follow. First, I inject a high density viscoelastic substance. You saw that and try to see if the pupil can dilate a bit at least or no. If it dilates a bit also and if I am confident of doing the phaco, I won't go ahead with the iris hooks or anything. Then I try to do a synechuliasis because a lot of my patients are on chronic pilocarpine use and I get a lot of uveitic patients, post-uveitic patients. So I try to do that, and if not succeeding, then I try with the iris hooks. When you are placing the iris hooks, you first place 4 paracentis incision. They should not be parallel, they should be a stab incision basically at the limbus. 4 or 5 depending on this amount of pupillary exposure you want, you can use that number of hooks. Take the hooks, place it parallel to the stab incision, or place all the 4 hooks or 5 hooks first inside the anterior chamber. Insert the hook into the anterior chamber by placing it parallel to the stab incision. In this case, I have inserted 2 hooks. Now I am enlarging the pupillary area. Don't overstretch the pupil. Just minimum dilatation so that you have access to put the other hooks and cause a uniform dilatation, because if you overstretch with the first hook or the second hook, you might cause damage to the iris. So titrate your pupillary expansion area. So now I've inserted all the 4 hooks. You see the amount of dilatation I've made is small. Now I'm tightening the hooks and I'm tightening the aperture size which I want. Okay. And if you don't take a stab insertion, if you take the insertion more parallel into the corneal plane, you will have ballooning up of the iris tissue. So when you are doing the phaco, then iris field tissue will come in between your phaco probe or in between your second instrument. Now once you have done all the iris hooks, all the other steps of phaco surgery remain the same. See, in this case, I have done a horizontal rectangle. That is actually not advisable nowadays. You should do a vertical pyramid. What I mean by vertical pyramid is the iris hook should be above your, should be below your main tunnel. So in this case, if I am doing a temporal phaco, if I am supposed making the main wound at 3 o'clock position, then the iris hook should be below my phaco incision side. So that gives a pyramid kind of enlargement of the pupillary area. So this iris tissue getting stuck into the phaco probe is avoided by following this technique. So once when you use iris hooks, always try to do a slow motion phaco. No need to hurry down, because if you are using high vacuum, high flow rate, there might be some pigment dispersion because of the iris hooks. So once the cataract is taken away, you don't need such a big pupillary area. So now I withdraw all the 3 iris hooks and I only keep the distal hook in place. This is because when you are injecting the IOL, you know that the leading haptic is going within the capsular bag. So the distal iris hook gives me an idea. I mean, it exposes the anterior capsule and I am able to visualize what I am doing. So once I have injected the IOL, then I remove the distal iris hook also and then go ahead with my visco wash and other steps of phaco surgery. Now, what are the advantages? It provides the stretches. It stretches and stabilizes the iris during cataract surgery. It is both disposable and reusable options are available. It is simple and requires no special instruments, easily available. Disadvantage, the iris sphincter is permanently direct. Sometimes it might be cosmosis might be it won't give a good outlook. You know, I mean, the iris tissue doesn't look good on the slit lamp when you are using it, because sometimes the iris tissue is so fragile. You pull the iris hooks and it just tears away. The tear cannot be controlled, resulting in bleeding, pigment dispersion, and abnormal and non-functional pupil post-operatively. The next one is a Malugin ring. It is made up of 5-0 blue polypropylene material, square shaped with 4 circular loops that hold the iris at equidistant points. It is a single piece design, comes in a sterile single use inserter and holder. It is available in 2 sizes, 7 mm and 6.25 mm, and can be inserted through a 2.2 mm incision. So you don't have to make any of the extra incision. To the same phaco wound, you can insert it. In case of 1.8 mm you are doing, you can do a wound assisted technique. This is how the Malugin ring looks actually. It is based on the Scoville principle of catching and holding the pupillary margin. It has a paper clip fixation mechanism. So going to show a case of phaco with Malugin ring. Again, the same dictum as I told you earlier. It's a case of small pupil. I have taken this as a combined case of phaco with trab. So initially the flap was done. Now again, I am doing a viscometastasis I started with, then I am doing a synecholysis. You see, after doing synecholysis, a bit of enlargement of the pupillary area was seen. Now I am showing you directly how to, what is Malugin ring basically. It comes to the inserter. Now you first load the Malugin ring into the injector. Then place the injector, pass the injector into the entry chamber through the incision site. Push the holder, try to engage the distal opening of the Malugin ring with the distal iris tissue. Then move your holder in such a way that the lateral 2 prongs get inserted, the iris tissue is getting caught between the 2 lateral prongs. Then you release the distal proximal prong and take out the inserter and the holder. Then with the help of a Sinskey hook, you engage the prong, retract it towards the center, bring it towards the pupillary margin and engage the iris tissue. You see, it is giving a 8-point fixation. The pupil is nicely dilated, and the advantage with this is there is no shallowing of the anterior chamber. With iris hooks, you have peripheral shallowing of the anterior chamber, but this ring is lying in the pupillary area, so you have a normal anterior chamber. Follow all the dictums of a normal phaco surgery, what you are doing. Okay, this is done. I am injecting the IOL now. See, this is a wide pupillary area exposure. You don't have any flutter, you don't have any pigment dispersion occurring. Now, while taking out the ring, you can do it with the Sinskey hook. As I told you, take the Sinskey hook, disengage the posterior loop, and then once the posterior loop is disengaged, you can reload into the injector with the help of a Sinskey hook. Okay, it is not supposed to mention. Now you saw the ring is nicely reloaded. What I do is, this ring is expensive. It costs about 5,600. It is reloaded. Then we open the holder in which the Malugin ring is reloaded. We clean it. We can ETO it at least and use it for 2 to 3 times. The advantage is being it provides 8-point fixation, absence of sharp edge, causes minimal trauma to the iris tissue. It has a reliable clamping mechanism. It is flexible. The injectability is very easy. You are used to injecting the IOL, so this also comes with the injector. You can nicely inject it without causing any damage. And the main advantage is you can do it a slow release of the Malugin ring. And as you are releasing it, you can maneuver your wrist movement so that all the prongs get engaged into the iris tissue. And there is no additional incisions required. Based on the same principle, there is another device called Oasis Iris Expander. It is square, single crease, blue polypropylene ring. It has pocket at each corner for capturing and supporting the iris in the dilated condition. Comes in a sterile single-use inserter and a holder. Same goes to a 2.2 insertion, available in sizes of 7 and 6.25. This is how the ring looks, and there is a holder and the injector in that. Showing a case of this. This is how the the Oasis Iris Expander comes. You have to load all this, whether it's a ring or an expander, you have to load this through the chamber into the inserter. You just have to pull the button, the ring or the expander comes into the injector holder. Once you have loaded into the injector, same mechanism, you take the injector till the mid-pupillary area. Then push the button down so that the ring is coming out, the expander comes out, and in this case you have to make the expander sit on the iris, over the iris tissue. Once the ring expander is sitting over the iris tissue, with the help of a Sinskey hook, you can engage one of the pockets and always try to engage two diagonally opposite pockets. Once the two diagonally opposite pockets are engaged, then you have to try with the other two pockets. Sometimes these pockets can get released. You saw that the one of my pocket got released, but there is no harm in this because the size of the ring is just 7 millimeters. You can do the same maneuver. Engage, there are holes on the pockets. You put the Sinskey hook over the hole, bring it towards the center, aim it towards the pupillary border, engage the iris tissue, and then leave it. So this is also giving a good expansion of the iris tissue. There is a good exposure of the pupillary area. Rest of the steps remain the same. There is no flutter. The ring is same lying in the iris plane only. There is no shallowing of the anterior chamber. I am more happy with using an Oasis Iris Expander than a Malugin ring, because Malugin ring is so flexible that it is very difficult to, I find it difficult to engage the lateral two horns. It is not so easy. But with the Iris Expander, you just put the Iris Expander over the iris tissue and then you can maneuver it very nicely. Withdrawing the expander again is based on the same principle I will be showing you. Once the IOL is injected, take a Sinskey hook, go through as a side port of the main tunnel, release one of the pocket. Once one of the pocket is released, then you can just engage and you can reload, or you can just withdraw with the help of a Sinskey hook outside. I always try to reload. There is a teeth and there is a support. So the teeth comes out. You engage the ring or the expander between the teeth, then you retract. The whole ring just comes out like that only. In this case, the pupil is a bit disfigured because there are a lot of posterior synechiae. So the stepwise approach in managing small pupil is use intracameral epinephrine injection, do a viscometriasis using a high molecular sodium hyaluronate, do a synecholysis. If all this fails, you can try pupil stretching technique like the retractor, expander or the ring device. So tips while using Hilon 5. Everybody is paying more stress on using a sodium hyaluronate. Now Hilon 5, you have to understand that Hilon 5 behaves like a dispersive OD when the vacuum is less than about 200 millimeters and the aspiration rate is about 25. If the vacuum or the aspiration rate exceeds this level, it behaves like a cohesive manner. So use low vacuum, low AFR and low bottle height while doing the phacoemulsification, and use high vacuum, high AFR and high bottle height for visco removal. So tips for phacoemulsification would be, if using hooks, rings or expander, any chopping technique, surgeon's preferred technique can be used. If proceeding with the phaco without managing a small pupil, direct chop in the center is the best technique. While proceeding with hydro, quadrant removal and coaxial cortex wash, you can also retract the pupil with the help of the Sinskey hook or the irrigating with the help of a Sinskey hook. For the last piece, reduce the vacuum on the flow rate. With the biomanual, you can retract the pupillary border with the help of a irrigation sleeve and continue with your normal biomanual irrigation aspiration. These techniques are to be done only when you are very confident with your foot control and with your both the hand maneuvers. So the dictum is open till 7. Try to open the pupillary area at least 7 millimeter. Thank you.